Today, for the first time, images shown to the court in the Sean Diddy Combs criminal trial made public. Prosecutors releasing these exhibits, pictures of Diddy's former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, with what she says are bruises on her back and legs, as well as a gash above her eye. During her more than 20 hours on the stand, Ventura testifying that these injuries occurred during alleged assaults in 2013 and 2016. Also released today, these pictures from when Diddy was arrested at the Park Hyatt Hotel in New York in September of last year.
Now you gotta stop with the baby oil, Diddy. You gotta stop with the baby oil, like, real talk. I get the drugs. I understand that. We know who you are. But the baby oil, man, you doing too much, man. 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Now he got baby oil all over. Everywhere he go, he got baby oil, for sure. Oh man, you do it. Y'all was doing too much, man. Y'all was, get it, but like, shoot. What you need that much baby oil for? How crazy is you? Who's cleaning up the rooms? You guys, who is cleaning up the rooms? Y'all let me know, man.
A special agent with Homeland Security testifying last week that the items found included bottles of baby oil and drugs, including pink packets of ketamine. Meanwhile, on the stand, singer Dawn Richard offering dramatic and at times tense testimony about the years she spent working for Combs. Richard describing an incident in 2009 when she allegedly saw Diddy assault his then girlfriend Cassie, testifying the next day she received a call from Diddy with a warning. Richard testifying, quote, "He said you could go missing, that we could die," going on to say, "I was shocked, but also scared." Combs is charged with 5 counts, including sex trafficking, racketeering, and transportation to engage in prostitution, and faces up to life behind bars. He has denied all of the allegations against him. Combs discovering Richard on his hit MTV reality show, Making the Band 3. Signing her to the hit girl group Danity Kane. And then later the group Diddy Dirty Money. Diddy's defense team saying Richard's retelling of events has been inconsistent. When challenged today by Combs' attorney Nicole Westmoreland, as time progresses, your story changes. To which Richard responded, yes, adding that it's been difficult to remember these alleged incidents because she's, quote, tried to erase those memories. Combs' lawyer also arguing that Richard filed a civil suit against Combs in 2024, shortly after Ventura went public with her own accusations, saying that Richard only wanted money. But Richard saying it was about justice. Today's testimony wrapping up with a former friend of Ventura and a former personal assistant of Diddy.
So a lot has happened in this case so far, man. And in my opinion, I'm going to give my opinion. We dealing with some nasty people here on both sides. On both sides. Whether you're pro Diddy or whether you're pro Cassie, both of them are nasty individuals. I just got to say that out front right away. Okay? Diddy is going to get his. He's going to get his time. I don't know if he's going to get it for the racketeering, but he might get it for the sex trafficking and the prostitution. Cassie is a nasty, nasty person as well as these other girls that participated in these freak-offs. Now, you can say what you want about, oh, they were forced to do it and all this stuff. From the testimony of Cassie and others, not all the time were they forced to do anything. They freely participated. There was one instance that I can remember off the top of my head where there was a guy prostitute and Cassie. They were doing the freak-offs. And Cassie was asking him to piss on her. All over her, in her mouth, everything. It's disgusting. And he testified that Cassie was like, yeah, I want you to do it. And this is how I want you to do it. These people are disgusting people. Freaks. Absolute freaks. And I don't think that's said enough. Now, Diddy, he's a demon himself. And that needs to be addressed. That will be addressed. Obviously, he's fighting for his freedom as we speak. But I can't get over the fact that some of these women just put themselves in this position in the first place. Like, you don't need to be a celebrity. You don't need to participate in these activities. You can walk away. There's plenty. Matter of fact, the majority of women don't do this because they think for themselves and they have their own brains and they know how to avoid certain situations. But in this industry, it's like damn near guaranteed there's some type of sex work, prostitution, something. And I feel like a lot of women sign up for it freely, thinking that they're going to benefit from it. And when they end up not benefiting from it, they try to now bring the person down. Now, I'm not saying that's what happened, because we've seen videos of, Cassie getting beat, which was well-deserved. Well-deserved. Her getting beat up and drugged and kicked and all this stuff. That part is well-deserved. We understand that is unacceptable behavior from Diddy, to put your hands on that woman. But the freak-offs, I can't say that's all his fault. I feel like both parties are involved. Both parties should be held accountable for the freak-offs. Because at some points, again, even in the testimony, besides how I feel, besides how you feel about it, some in the testimony, the evidence that they had against Cassie when they were cross-examining her, it was clear as day that she was all for it. All for it. It might have not been every time, but damn near she was there. She was for it almost every time. And that to me is some nasty, nasty behavior.
And Chloe Melas joins us now from just outside that Manhattan courthouse where everything is playing out inside. Chloe, day one of week 2, you have been in and out of that courtroom since the very beginning. We have already heard dramatic testimony and seen these pictures from the prosecution. What do we expect to happen this week?
So we expect to also have Combs's assistant take the stand once again, a personal chef who once worked for Combs, who is going to talk about a violent night and potentially other violent incidents. We could even hear from Cassie Ventura's mother this week, barring that she doesn't go into labor. And again, the prosecution, they have 6 weeks worth of witnesses.
Chloe Melas, thank you. And NBC News legal analyst Danny Savalos joins us now with more. All right, Danny, a lot of new evidence today, right, petering out, including photos that we have from the prosecution. Walk us through this new evidence and what has stood out to you so far.
Well, stood out is a relative term. Standing out in terms of making out the elements of the government's case, it's going to be things like drugs, just like it is things like violence, because those are key to some of the charges here. But stands out in a way that has very little to do with the government's elements of their case, baby oil. Baby oil is one of those pieces of evidence that the government is very good at. They find a sticky, and I'm using that term figuratively, a sticky piece of evidence that jurors will hook onto. A good example is the gold bars in the Menendez case, for example. This is the kind of stuff that jurors remember. They understand it, and they put it in front of them in picture form, and it's something that they remember when they go to the jury room. Does it have a whole lot to do with the elements of the crimes charged? Not really,
exactly.
But that doesn't really matter. Sometimes it's that kind of evidence that's more compelling than the evidence of the actual elements.
So talk to us about what we heard from some of the witnesses on the stand today, because we heard that former Danity Kane member, Dawn Richard, testify that she saw Diddy allegedly assaulting Cassie back in 2009. When we're thinking about the charges that he is facing and the 5 counts that prosecutors are trying to prove here, how does a story like that, seemingly witnessing a singular act of violence, actually play into the case and what prosecutors are trying to say Diddy has done?
The recurring theme is violence, 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 not because Diddy's been charged with a crime of violence, so to speak. He's not charged with assault. He's not charged with rape. But the violence goes toward coercion. That's one of the elements of the sex trafficking charges. And why is that important? Because coercion requires the fear or threat of something like violence. Consider some of the other evidence today. Ventura apparently told James, Diddy's assistant, that she felt like she couldn't leave because she depended on Combs for everything. That sure feels like coercion, but it may not be coercion as it's defined in the sex trafficking law. So the elements are always key, and the violence really goes to the issue of coercion for sex trafficking, which is arguably the government's strongest charge. It carries the most severe penalties.
Okay, so thus far, do you think prosecutors have been effective at trying to prove that?
Yes, and the government, traditionally, federal prosecutors engage in what we defense attorneys call overkill. They shove a lot of evidence. So you're not just going to get one or two witnesses talking about violence. You're going to get a lot, and there are more to come. People that work for him, prostitutes, escorts, and you're going to hear all of these elements. They're going to sound redundant at some point, but the government does that because they don't like to lose, and they want to overprove every element of their case.
All right, NBC's Danny Zavalos, thank you.
Let me know how y'all feel about this case down in the comments below. Everything that has happened so far. I know not much has, a lot has happened so far, but it's not over. It's far from over. There's still plenty more to go. This guy here, he says that they're bringing a good case against Diddy, which of course they are. They're the feds. They have to. They got no choice. He's up for racketeering alone. That alone is enough to put him away for the rest of his life. But again, in my opinion, when I hear racketeering, I hear Pablo Escobar. I hear the blood gang with 6ix9ine and Treyway. I hear a lot of evil. It is evil. I hear a lot of drugs, trafficking, killings, murderers, all types of big crime organization. Not freak-offs, if you get what I'm saying. Not domestic violence, if you get what I'm saying. And not really rape. They're trying to take down his entire organization. They're trying to make his entire organization, Bad Boy Records, a criminal organization, not just Diddy himself. So that is the part that I'm kind of a little iffy about. I don't know if they're going to sell that one. They might, the jury might end up, just voting for that. But in my opinion, I'm not hearing that out of what has happened so far. Now, I am hearing sex trafficking. I am hearing the prostitution, and I'm definitely hearing domestic violence, but that's not what domestic violence is not what he's fighting. He's fighting for racketeering, sex trafficking, and pretty much prostitution. Those are the biggest counts. The other counts, not so much as big. But in my opinion, I don't see him going down for racketeering, at least. Maybe the other two, but we will see. But again, both sides are nasty. like I can't with the trauma bonding BS. I can't with it. Like, if you, as a grown person, grown woman, grown man, can sit there and say, I'm going to stay in this abusive relationship for a mounts period of time just because it feels good in the moment, you should not be coming around 20 years later trying to get your get back on that man that's been abusing you, and you didn't say nothing was happening. You didn't say a word when it was happening. As a father of daughters, First of all, I pray that my children will never be in this position. But as a father of daughters, I would ask them constantly, and I would tell them constantly, don't ever put yourself in the position where you are going to be abused, taken advantage of, raped, drugged, assaulted, all the above. Go find you a normal person, a normal man that, at least believes in something. Talking religious wise. I don't care if it's Buddha. I don't care if it's Muhammad. I don't care if it's Jesus. But something religiously. A man that has good character. A man that has good reputation. A man that has good family values, family structure. And a man that has something going for him. Put yourself in that position. But once you go and you entertain the devil, expect to get bitten. Hopefully that would be enough. I know it's not going to be perfect. I know you don't always know who you're going to be messing with and how that person is going to end up. But I'm pretty sure that she had the opportunity to get away as soon as she could. Not even involve herself. But no, she wanted more. She absolutely did want. And that's not even hidden. She herself admitted that she wanted more. She wanted to be his wife at one point. So when you take all that into consideration, I'm not saying she fully put herself in this position, but she absolutely put herself in this position. And so did these other girls. So did these other prostitutes, male or female. They all put themselves in this position. They're all evil. And we should announce it and we should tell it like it is. And both sides should be held accountable. That's all I'm saying about this. But let me know y'all thoughts down below in the comments below. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate y'all viewership. Make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button on y'all way out. Till next time, man, it's your boy Dgotsauce. Peace. Shout outs to today's sponsor, the Snacks.shop. They have a variety of snacks, and I'm telling you right now, guys, they smack. All right, this is my third bag. All right, third bag. Thank you for everything you guys sent to me from the Snacks.shop. I appreciate y'all care package. Today's sponsor, make sure you guys go check them out. They have some dope snacks, and I can't lie, man. It's busting. I'm going to get some more of these. I promise you. These are the Korean chicken. Korean chicken, like literally. Check out their website. Go cop something, man. Let them know that Dgotsauce sent you. And thank you again to today's sponsor, the Snacks.shop.